What's up, guys? My name is Tai Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel. I'm broadcasting from the beautiful city of Ho Chi Minh City in the southern part of Vietnam. I'm in District 7 right now. There's District 7. There's a bunch of districts here in Ho Chi Minh City. District 1 is the wealthiest one, and District 2 and District 7 come in second place as being the up-and-coming wealthy neighborhoods. Okay, so in this video, guys, speaking of wealthy neighborhoods, I want to talk about wealth. Okay, and some of them is one of the biggest mistakes that I made trying to create wealth in my life. Okay, many of you guys know that I came to America as a Vietnamese refugee, right after the war between the U.S. and Vietnam. And I came to America. My family was really dirt poor, and we had no education. I did not finish high school. I only barely finished the 11th grade. I was dumb as shit back when I was in school. Right? Unfortunately, I was not one of those Asian guys that was good in math and science. And because of that, you know, I did not do too well in school. My family made me drop out of school to help work and pay the bills. And when I dropped out of high school, I made the mistake of going hang around with a bunch of poor guys in the black neighborhood, in the ghettos that I was living in Southeast Texas. And because of that, I ended up getting involved in drugs, and I ended up going to federal prison for nearly 14 years. And when I came out in my mid-30s, I started learning how to trade and became successful at it, and was able to retire by the time I was in my mid-40s. So it took me about 11 years, somewhere around there, plus or minus 11 years, to come out, start from scratch with nothing in my pocket, and come up and be able to become a millionaire and retire early. Okay. Looking back, I think that I honestly believe that I could have gotten here to where I'm at today and retire earlier, probably like anywhere between 3 to 5 years earlier. Okay, so the 11-year journey that it took me to retire as a millionaire, I think I could have done that like 3 to 5 years quicker. Okay, and the reason it took me so long was because I hung around the wrong people. That's what got me in trouble and got involved in drugs and go to prison in the first place. And then when I got out, I got involved with the wrong people again, but this time it was not people that were doing something illegal. It was people that did a lot of talking but did not do a lot of action. Okay, so what happened was, when I first got out, you know, I would go to these meetups and these conferences and these seminars, and because I was very poor at that time and I had no money when I first got out of prison, the only way that I could go, I knew that I had to surround myself with other people that were interested in doing the same thing. I had learned my lesson from being in federal prison for nearly 14 years, and I never wanted to be around people doing things illegal again, and I never ever wanted to be involved with law enforcement, you know, with the court system, with the prison system. I didn't want to do anything with that. So I purposely, you know, stayed away from anybody that even smelled like or resembled something that they were doing something illegal with drugs or breaking the law or violating the law. So I would go to these personal development seminars, these financial seminars, these multi-level marketing seminars, these trading, real estate seminars. I would go to all these places, and the mistake I made was that I would go to all the free ones. Okay, I would go to all the free stock trading seminars, the free meetups, the free, just everything was free because I had no money at that time, right? And even when I started to save up $100, $1,000, $2,000, I still continued to go to all these free events because I never I was stingy, and I was being tight. I was being a cheapskate, you know. I was being cheap about it, and I didn't want to spend the money. Okay, and it wasn't until like I got out in 2007, near the end of the summer of 2007, and 2006, and it wasn't until almost 2 years later that I finally invested some money to get some formal education. And the amount of money that I invested was like about $5,000, okay, at that time. And I didn't even have $5,000 to invest, right? I had to borrow money and I'll make a video separately in the future how I borrowed the money. But I had to borrow and scrape up some money to get educated in learning how to trade stocks. And the mistake that I made was that I would go to these free stock trading seminars and investing seminars and these real estate seminars, and I didn't know it at the time, but all the guys that were going to the free events, they were being cheap, and they were not willing to invest in themselves. And I didn't realize it, but they were all beginners like myself. So I really could not learn anything from them because they had no money, or if they had money, they were being cheap about it, and they were not willing to invest that money into themselves. And the most common thing that I always heard was that the guys would like, hey, you know what? You can read this stuff online, you can figure it out on your own, right? But after 2 years of trying to, quote unquote, figure it out on my own, how to trade successfully, I got so frustrated, that, man, like, how come I've read like pretty much every popular trading and investing book that you can imagine? How come I've been to like, I don't know how many dozens of stock and investing seminars that I went to, and I still did not know how to put a trade into the computer. Like, I did not know how to go to like a broker like TD Ameritrade or Fidelity or Charles Schwab and just enter a trade and buy like one share of a stock. Like, I was so frustrated. Like, I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know how to open up an account. I didn't know how to do any of that, okay? And what happened was, I was like, I can't keep going like this. I can't keep going for like 2 years and not know how to improve. Like, at that time, back in 2006 and 2007, if you ask me what's a candlestick, what's a shooting star, what's a hammer pattern, what's a Fibonacci, what cycle is it in, or what Elliott wave, or what cycle wave, man, I swear to God, I can regurgitate and repeat exactly what I read. And if you didn't know it, you would swear to God, you would swear up and down, you would bet your kid's life on it, okay, that I knew how to trade. But the reality was, I didn't know jack shit. I didn't know, I could not even put in an order online to buy one share of a stock. Okay, that's how bad it was. And it was so frustrating, and I kept going to these free events, and it got to the point where, at the first few events that I would go to, I would try to sound smart. I would raise my hand when the instructor or the speaker at the event would ask a question, what's a candlestick, or what's this? Is this a wick or a tail, or is this a Fibonacci, or is this a MACD or an RSI? And I would sit there and I would regurgitate, and man, I was a good repeater. I would repeat everything that I read, right? And because I'd read the same book so many times when I was in prison, that I can just practically regurgitate everything that the author wrote in the book, okay? But deep down inside, while I was sitting there at the meetup or at the conference or at the seminar, deep down inside, I knew that I was not a trader. I knew that I had never made $1 from trading, right? And I felt like I was just a fake ass. I was just and I was so frustrated because I did not want to be a fake ass trader. I did not want to keep going to these events and meet other traders and talk, and on the outside I sound like a trader. I look like a trader. I don't know what a trader is supposed to look like, but I sounded just like a real trader, but inside my heart, inside my gut, I knew that I had never made a single trade in my life. It was just so frustrating. It's like going out, and how like all guys, when we were all young, we were all virgins, and we go and talk to other guys in school, and we act like, we've had sex with a girl before, but deep down inside we knew that we never even held a girl's hand before, much less kiss her or have sex with her, And so, like, we wanted to be, our ego was in the way, so we would talk like, yeah, we know how to do this and how to do that with the girl and everything. But the reality is we didn't know jack shit, okay? You know it. If you're a guy and you listen to this video, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know how you were talking to guys before you actually had sex for the first time, and you would sound like you knew what you were talking about. But you and I both know you didn't know shit. I didn't know shit, you didn't know shit back there either, okay? So it was really frustrating to go to these conferences and seminars, and at one point I just would go there and I would just sit there, and I wouldn't even raise my hand to answer any questions. If somebody said something next to me that I knew was wrong or something, I wouldn't even say nothing. I wouldn't even dispute it. And if I heard somebody say something that I thought was full of shit, I wouldn't call them out anymore on it. I just wouldn't say nothing. I would just go to these trading and investing seminars and events and just shut my mouth and just keep quiet. And it was really frustrating. I wanted to give up several times, right? And there was a point there. It was a really low point in my life in near the end of 2007. I had my first massive heart attack, and I almost died because I didn't know that I was having a heart attack. So I just went back to, I was jogging outside in the heat like this, and I just was feeling really bad. I felt like really dizzy and was throwing up, and I just went home. I threw up, and then I drank a big old bottle of cold Gatorade. It felt slightly better, and I just laid down on the floor. And during this whole time, I was having a massive heart attack and did not even know it. And make a long story short, like a week later, I came out of the hospital from that massive heart attack. They put 4 stents into my heart. There was like several arteries that was just blood vessels that was just all clogged up, from being poor and just eating really bad food and being so stressed out in prison for nearly 14 years that it just hardened the arteries in my heart and was clogged up and everything. So they had to go in there and put 4 stents in there to open it up, and I was able to live again, and thank God, so that I can be here today and talk to you guys and share with you guys my trading knowledge and experience and what I had to go through to become a successful and consistently profitable trader. So what happened was I got out of trading, I got out of the hospital, and I made a ultimatum to myself. I said, hey man, if I don't learn how to trade by the end of 2007, that's it. I'm gonna quit. Like I've been at this for 2 years. I've been at it for like nearly half a decade in prison, studying, doing research, drawing map charts out manually, on a graph paper. And now I come out in 2 years of being online using a computer. I still did not know how to put in an order to buy a single share of stock. And it was just so frustrating that when I came out of the hospital from my first heart attack, I said, man, you know what? It's I think at that time it was like July, the end of July, and I said, you know what? I got 4 months. If I don't learn how to trade by the end of 2007, that's it. I'm quitting this. And it was not an easy decision to make, guys. It was a really, really tough decision for me to make in my life because I'm not a quitter. When they put me in prison for nearly 14 years for drugs, right? Even then I did not quit. Like I refused to stay down. I refused to let the system break my spirit. I refused to let the system, break my morality. I refused to let the system break me mentally. Even though the prosecutor said that I would never see daylight again, right? I refuse to accept that. I refuse to let the man, the system, or anyone break me mentally or spiritually, okay? And you know what? Look at me now. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake says, look at me now, it looks like it's daylight to me. I got to turn the damn camera, the ISO on the camera down because there's so much goddamn daylight out here. So, here I is, like Drake always said, look at me now, or Drake or one of those hip hop rappers, Anyways, if I get it wrong, don't jump on my ass, man. I'm not good at quoting shit. I just remember the lesson. I don't remember who actually said it, okay? It was Michael Jackson that said it, it's fine. Don't jump on my ass about it, okay? So it was a really tough decision to make. And I said that, man, I really wish that there was a reliable place that I can just go to. And at that time, I realized I needed to pay for education. I needed to pay to learn how to trade. There was no free ride. Like I went to all these dozens, probably over 100 free seminars already, and still did not learn how to trade. And I knew that I had to invest into my education. It was no longer a matter of spending money. Like I realized all the money, the travel expenses that I spent to go from one city to another. I was living in Austin at that time, and going to Dallas, going to Houston, going to San Antonio, going to all these. If I just took all that travel expenses and the meal costs and invested into a good program, right, then I could have been way further ahead than I was at that time. And I made the decision, I got to invest into my education and learn from somebody to do it right. But the problem was, I only had a very, very small amount of money, and I didn't know who to invest in, who to trust, and I was afraid that if I invested the money that I had, at that time I had $2,000 US and saved up, and I said, if I invest this, if I learn how to trade, then it's not a bad investment because I can make money for the rest of my life. But if I invest it into the wrong school, the wrong individual, the wrong organization, then if I lose it, then man, I'm gonna have to work another couple of years to save up this money, right? And that would suck, you know? So I said, you know what, I gotta be really intelligent and really do my due diligence to make sure that when I invest this into a trader that they know how to trade and show me, right? So I got out of the hospital after my first heart attack and I quit, right? Going to the free seminars, and I just did a bunch of research online. I was constantly, you know, searching to see, you know, and somehow or another I got an email from some dude named Alan. Okay, some dude named Alan. For personal and privacy reasons, I'm not gonna share his last name, right? But Alan, I'm just gonna call him Mr. Apple. Okay, I'm just gonna call him Mr. Apple because he traded a shitload of Apple stocks, okay? The whole time that I knew him, all he traded was just Apple stocks, okay? So I'm just gonna call him Mr. Apple, all right? So I got this email from Mr. Apple saying that, hey man, you know, like, we got this meetup, and I thought it was like a trader meetup, okay? So I ended up going there. You know, it was like the first one I went to after I got out of the hospital from my massive heart attack. And I went there, and it was kind of like in an office building, similar to the office, you know, that you guys see me filming in the background here in District 7, right? And it was like a professional office building. I went in there, and there was like a dozen guys in there. And it was kind of weird because, like, most of the ones that I go to, there's young people, there's minorities in there. It's not, you know, there's a mix. But this one was really weird because there's a bunch of old white guys, like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I was the only guy that was young in there. I was in my mid-30s at that time. And I was the only Asian guy. I kind of like stood out. And Mr. Apple was a white guy. And so I was listening, and he was showing me a bunch of stuff. And the one thing that he was always telling me was that, okay, you hear this in the books and the magazines and online, but here's the reality. And that was constantly the theme of the meetup, you know. And it was traders, you know, sharing their ideas. And the one thing that I kept constantly hearing over and over was that, okay, here it is in theory, but here's the reality. You know, here it is in theory, but here's the reality. Here it is in the books, but here's the reality. Here it is online, but here's the reality. And it made sense to me. And it's like, wait a minute, like this is like the first guy that I've seen that show me this in the books, but then show me this is what the reality looks like. And he would show me like, okay, this is what it looks like, and here's the reason why that's not how it works in reality. Here's what you have to do in reality. And for like 3 or 4 hours there, I was like shocked. I was like, where did this guy come from? Like, where has he been hiding at, right? And I wanted to connect with him, and I wanted to offer to pay him to like just mentor me and coach me personally how to trade like that. And I remember the biggest, the game-changing moment was when he asked me if anyone had a question. I said, hey man, like, can you just show me like how to buy a stock? Like, I've been studying this shit for years, and I still don't know how to buy a stock. Like, actually buy a stock, you know, just one share. And he goes, what stock do you want? I was like, yeah, I don't know, just buy something, man, like Microsoft. Just buy a share. I just want to see how you do that. And then he logged into a software at that time called Terra Nova. And the software he was using was called Terra Nova. In my opinion, that's like the absolute best software ever. I'm not going to tell you how to get it because it's no longer on the market. Somebody bought them out and then just shelved the software and the exchange and the broker. Just, it's a horrible idea. That was like one of the absolute best brokers ever, you know, Terra Nova, right? And so he got in this Terra Nova software, he pulled it up, and he typed in, he goes, well, what's the symbol for Microsoft? And I said, MSFT, you know. I memorized it at that time, and he put it in, and he goes, how many shares do you want to buy? And I said, I don't care, just buy one share. He goes, well, let's just buy 10 shares, just for example. And I asked him, I said, is this live? Is this in the demo? Is this in the simulator or what? And he goes, no, this is in the live markets. You know, and he showed me on the software where it said live, and he logged in, he goes, see, it says live, and then he logged in again, he logged out, and he logged in again, he goes, see, that says demo, So that's how you know if that's you're buying with real money or fake money. I go, okay. So he logged into the live market. He goes, it's better if I show it to you live so you can see what it looks like. You know, I go, okay, that's cool. So he logged in live and he bought the 10 shares, right? And he goes, you ready? Okay, here it is. I'm buying it at this price, whatever the price was at the time. And he hit the button buy. He clicked on the computer and it said ding, or it registered, like, you know, it made some kind of a ringing noise to show that, to signal that the purchase was done. And he goes, there you go. We just bought 10 shares. And I said, well, what do you mean we just bought 10 shares? Like, how do I know that you bought it? And so he pulled up this window and it said order history or something like that. And it shows like, okay, I purchased 10 shares at this time. There's a time stamp on there. How many shares, what price, everything. And which electronic communication network it was routed through and all that. So I got to see that. And I said, okay, so how do I know if the price went up, I made money, or went down? And he pulled up another window. He showed me the profit and loss, and I looked at it, and I can see the price because it was in real time in the live markets. So it was moving up and down, and I can see that it was making money or losing money. It wasn't a lot, but the profit and loss was going up and down because the market was moving at that time. And I said, wow, that's like the first time I've seen, like I've been to like 100 seminars, and that's like the first time I've seen somebody buy an actual stock live in front of me. I was thinking to myself in my head, I was thinking like, holy shit, I can do this. I can learn this shit. I just saw what he did. He typed in the symbol, he typed in the numbers, he typed in the price, right? And he clicked the buy button, and I was like, I can do this shit, man. And it was the first time, you guys have no idea, it was the first time that I had hope in me, man. I had hope. Like, I was hurting like shit from the heart surgery and everything, you know, and I was dragging myself to this event because I wanted to see it, you know. And even though I hadn't fully recovered, even though I was not supposed to be out there, you know, I was still recovering from the heart surgery and everything. I went to it and I felt rejuvenated. I felt reinvigorated, man. I felt energized. I felt like, you know, I was like, you know, you ever charge a full battery and your phone is finally working and the lights are full brightness and everything? That's how I felt, man. I felt like I was alive again for once, man. Like, holy shit, I can do this, man, right? And so when I saw that, I was thinking in my head, like how much is it gonna cost me to do this shit? And I thought about it, I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how much it costs, man. Like, I need to learn what this guy is doing, right? And he said, and I threw out there, I said, well, how do I sell it now? And then he pulled up a window, an order window. He typed in the symbol again. He typed in the quantity, 10 shares, and he typed in the price he wanted to sell it. And he goes, hey, we'll just sell it at market, okay? And I go, that's fine with me. And he clicked the sell button, and there's like ding, and then there was and I said, well, how do I know it's sold now? And then again, he pulled up the order history window, and he showed me that it was sold. And then he pulled up the profit and loss, and he showed me how much money he had lost on it. It was like a few cents, you know, it's not a big deal. And I kept thinking, when I watched this, I was like, man, I can do this shit, man. There's no way that I just watched him do this and I can't type in the symbol, the quantity, and the price of the stock that I want to buy or sell. I gotta be a full retard. Like, I know I'm stupid, but god damn it, like, I gotta be really, really stupid, like, duh, like that kind of stupid, not to be able to do this, right? And so, one thing I noticed is that, like, he was the only one, Mr. Apple was the only one that was teaching in the meetup. I thought it was like, hey, all of us get together and share trading ideas and stuff. And I found it weird that he was the only one that was teaching, and all the other white guys, the dozen or so white guys in there, was not teaching. And then I said, hey man, like, so do you charge people to coach people or teach people this shit? You know, and I was like, is there any way that I can, you know, like pay you to teach me what you're doing, like how you're making money in trading? Because this is like the first time I've seen somebody buy or sell something with my own eyes in a live account with real money. Like, I've been to 100 of these events and I've never seen someone actually buy and sell a stock before. And then so he explained that, you know, that he charged like $5,000 to, you know, teach somebody. And I was thinking, like, when he said $5,000, I was thinking, like, holy shit. I worked my ass off for 2 years after I came out of prison, like working like 2 jobs, you know, at a time to save up $2,000. And this is all the money I have. And he's talking about $5,000. I'm thinking, like, is he out of his mind? what is he thinking? But then there was another part of me that kept saying like, wow, you know, like, what if I figure this shit out, man? What if I finally learn how to do what he's doing and make the money that I've always dreamed of in trading? You know what? I know I can make this $5,000 back, man. If I had the skills that he has, I know for sure. The only way that it would be a bad investment or a bad education is if I don't use what I was told. If I was taught how to trade and I don't go out there and do it. That's the only time that would be a bad investment. So what happened was, I went home, you know, and man, dude, I lost sleep making this decision, guys. I literally lost sleep, you know. Like, that was the only $2,000 I had. And, you know, I went and borrowed some money and, you know, make a long story short, I came up with the money and I was able to get into the class. And man, it just blew me away. When I took the class and I learned how to trade from Mr. Apple and his colleagues, you know, it just blew me away. Like, man, you know, like after a week of their class, I realized, man, I had wasted like 2 years going from one free seminar to another free seminar for nothing. Like, the stuff that he was teaching me just blew my mind away, how real trading actually worked, okay? And I realized that the biggest mistake that I made, and this is the reason why I say that I could have shaved off 3 to 5 years off of my my journey and then retire 3 to 5 years earlier than I did, was because, I mean, there was 2 years right there. There was 2 years that I wasted right there going around goofing off at all these free seminars and free meetups thinking that I was going to learn something from a bunch of other beginners and a bunch of other broke-ass traders, okay? And guys that didn't know how to trade. So what happened was, the mistake that I want you guys to learn from this, okay? The big mistake that can save you 2, 3, 5 years, right? Was that stop trying to learn from someone that doesn't know how to trade. Stop trying to learn from someone for free. That's not gonna happen, guys. I hate to say it like this. You're never gonna learn real trading skills from someone else for free. That's not going to happen. Even till today. And let me explain to you the reason why, okay? You would think that, hey, Ty, you know, you became a multi-millionaire from trading, you know? What's wrong with sharing your knowledge and your skill with other people, right? So that they can come up. What's wrong with sharing with other poor people so they can come up? And the reality is this, guys. I've been teaching people how to trade for over a decade now, right? I have never once taught someone for free and they became successful. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I know hundreds of good traders, and none of them have ever taught someone for free and they become good traders. And the number one reason is because when somebody learns it for free, they never do it. That's the reason. They never do it. And nothing is more frustrating than spending the time and effort to coach someone and teach someone how to become a successful trader, and they don't do shit. They don't do shit, okay? Some people say, hey, Ty, how come you don't, you know, price your cryptocurrency investing blueprint course? Why don't you do it at a lower cost, like $50 or something, or $10 or something, so that everyone can get a copy of it and learn how to do it? And the reason is because they don't do it, and they actually lose more money. They actually lose more money, okay? And the reason why we price it at the price that we have it at is because we have done testing to show that there are more people become successful, okay? The probability that someone is actually going to take action and do what we teach them is a lot higher. The people that attend our $25,000 US cryptocurrency investing boot camps, we have a significantly higher number of people that become millionaires from taking that boot camp than the ones that don't take it, and the ones that just take our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. That's just the reality, guys. And the reason why we don't have time to teach people or coach people how to trade successfully in the cryptocurrency markets, but when we do, we want to make sure that somebody's going to take action, and we want to make sure that somebody is serious about it, and they are serious about the craft, they're serious about the skill, and they're not coming in here to look for luck. They're not looking for someone to do it for them. They're looking to learn how to do it on their own. And that's the mistake that I want to share with you guys. The mistake that I made, right, that wasted 2 years of my life, was trying to learn it from people that don't know how to trade, trying to learn it for free, trying to be a cheapskate, trying to be tightwad, and wasting 2 years of my life, okay? Remember guys, it's gonna cost you two things to learn how to become a consistently profitable trader. Anyone can be a profitable trader, but not anyone can be a consistently profitable trader. And those two things that it's gonna cost you is time and money, okay? And here's my belief nowadays: when I wanna learn something, I just go pay for it and learn it, okay? Because I can always make more money, but I cannot make more time. The 2 years that I spent goofing off, jacking around, right, trying to learn it for free, right, are 2 years that I will never, ever, 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 ever get back in my life. No matter how many millions of dollars that I make today, I will never get back those 2 years. Never. Never. Okay? So, if you're watching this and you've been following this for a long time, right, and you've been hesitating and you've been reluctant, right, to learn, you know, to get educated, to invest into your education, right, ask yourself, how many years, how many months have you wasted already? How many years, how many months have you wasted already to try to figure it out on your own? How much have you lost already? How much is it worth it to you that when you're stuck and you have to make a $100,000 or $1 million decision, trading decision or investing decision, how much is that worth to you to be able to pick up the phone and give me a call and say, hey Ty, when you were in this situation, how did you make this $100,000 decision? Hey, LeonFood.com, when you were in this $1 million situation, how did you make this decision? What is the best decision to make in this situation to achieve my goals? How much is that worth to you? How much is that worth to you when you're managing a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio and the decisions that you make, right, has a significant impact on your portfolio, right? How much is that worth to you? Okay? I have clients today who just sharing with them what we did to reduce our capital gains tax alone was worth it to them to attend our $25,000 cryptocurrency investing bootcamp. Just that alone, not even trading or nothing, just on how we manage our taxes, just that alone was worth it to them. Okay? So I invite you guys to consider this, guys. All right? Stop making that mistake thinking that you're going to learn how to trade for free or on your own. That's not going to happen, and that will never happen. And if it does happen, your ass is going to be 90-something years old, okay? If you're looking to manage a 7, 8, or 9-figure portfolio, guys, and you've never had formal education on it, or even if you have, and you want that extra advantage, that extra edge, right, going into the next bull market, I highly invite you to consider getting a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint at www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint, okay? And get your copy today. Quit jacking around, quit goofing off, go learn how to do it and do it right, okay? We have made all the mistakes that you could have possibly made in cryptocurrency trading and investing. There's no reason for you to repeat those mistakes when you can learn it from someone else, okay? Remember this, a smart man learns from his own mistakes, a wise man learns from the mistakes of other men, okay? So go get your copy today and stop jacking around, okay? If you don't get our copy of the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, I highly recommend that you get it educated somewhere else. I don't know where else, because I believe that we have the absolute best training program on the planet. If you know somebody else that has a better training program, let me know also. I'm always open to learning how to improve my trading and investing skills. I just haven't seen someone else out there on the market that knows how, that speaks or has conveyed to me evidence that they know how to manage a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, okay? So once they know how to do that, you tell me, I will go and learn from them, okay? I don't like to think that I'm one of those old dogs that you can't teach new tricks to, okay? I'm always open to learning. If you know someone that can teach me how to manage a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, you let me know, okay? You have them contact me directly, okay? You guys have my phone number, just call me and let me know, all right? Thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure that you guys follow me on Twitter at HeyTyZen, okay? As always, guys, take your money off the exchanges. Never keep it on there. Keep it in a hardware wallet like the Ledger or the Trezor. Don't ask me about other hardware wallets. I don't know. I've never used it. Our team has not ran several millions of dollars through them, So I'm not comfortable recommending it to you guys if we haven't ran several millions of dollars through it and stored it on there for lengthy periods of time, okay? So we're not comfortable recommending it. The ones that we recommend are the Trezor and the Ledger, okay? They did not pay us to tell you guys this. No one paid us shit to talk about it, okay? If they do, I'll let you guys know, okay? I have no problem disclosing that, okay? But none of the Trezor, Ledger, anybody told us about it, okay? So thanks for watching this video. Go get you a copy of the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, guys.